Hey, it's Pete, GCI Turf. Hope you're having a great day. And man, I'm telling you, I just got to call y'all out on this. I am very impressed and very proud of you. And here's why. Man, I've been getting hammered with emails and comments and all kind of things. People saying, hey, Pete, thank you for that love your neighbor thing, because I'm starting to see the light. Man, I just got a comment this morning about a gentleman went to his neighbor who's disabled, can't do anything in his yard, and he went out there and took the time and done all this work in his yard and helped the man out. Hey, I'm proud of you, because at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We're here to help each other. You know, I don't care if my yard looks better than this lady's. That don't mean a dang hill of beans to me. But I do want to help her and support her, just because simply she's my neighbor and she's my friend, right? So hey, I'm proud of you guys for doing that. Now all I'm doing today is giving you a little update on my neighbor's yard over here that we started. We kind of picked up. We done a little strip back in the winter, then back in the beginning, back first of summer maybe, mid-spring, we took over the whole backyard, and we'll look at that. Now this video is going to be a touch different, okay? Because I'm gonna tell you something in a minute, and then I'm gonna go totally and completely against it and do something totally different. And after you watch this part of the video, I'll come back and explain to you why I did that. Check it out. Okay, now this is the yard. Remember, way back in the winter where we started, and we done this little strip right here. You know, remember, it was a little tiny strip that went down through here, and I was cheap and tight and didn't want to spend the money, but I got to thinking about it. I said, let's do it, and we did it. And look at this, man. This joker is coming on out. Now, a few things I want you to notice. That the majority of this is my tall fescue. Okay, I give her some grass seed last year, or maybe even the year before, and she come out here and she done the best she could do with a plugging and seeding. But we're gonna do it GCI style this year for her, because we're taking care of it now. But I want you to see these little lime green spots in here. Let's see if I can show you another right there. All that is a Kentucky 31 type of fescue. It is a fescue, but you can see how much taller it grows. It's got a big old wide blade on it. Chances are that stuff was sown when they built this house. Chances are it was a contractor type grade mix. It was cheap crap, and they just, you know, that's what happens. You know, unfortunately, the yard's always the last thing to get attention to when most folks build a house. So especially when they're throwing houses up left and right, so neighbors, they cheap out on the grass. So that's probably where that come from. This is very thick. Let's get down here and look. It is thickened up in a serious kind of way. I mean, serious. Look at this. See, here's the difference. Look at this. Look at this. See how much wider that blade is right there? Let's find some. Let me find a good blade right here of the. Ooh, that's got a little stress in it. You can see the difference there. The Turf Titan, and there's your KY beside it. But you can see how nice this looks. You can see my foot stepping down in here. Now, here I'm getting a lot of questions about a lot of folks. Their grass, look, dog. A lot of folks, their grass is starting to get a little dry. A lot of places around the country are starting to get a little dry. I know some of you start to keep getting rain, but now we're dry here in North Carolina right now. We got a lot of rain not too long ago, but we're back dry again. Now this is when I start paying attention. My yard, it don't matter now because I got irrigation, but I'm gonna treat this yard like I used to treat mine in the summer before I had irrigation. I'm gonna stay off of this, okay? This grass is probably a good solid 6 inches tall. I'm not gonna touch it. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let it continue to do its thing. It's probably not gonna grow a lot more than what it's growing now. It's probably gonna not get a lot more taller, It's not going to get taller simply because the moisture is leaving the ground. There's no moisture to supply the plant, so it can't do a lot of growing. So it's going to kind of shut down a little bit. So I'm going to help it by not cutting the piss out of it, right? Because it's starting to stress a little bit. I'm going to back up here and I want to show you something. All right, look at across there. See this blue? I'm trying to get my finger here because the phone wants to not focus when I do this. See this blue right here? See this blue right here? This little blue streak? This little patch of blue right here? That is one of the things I was telling you to look for. One of the first signs of heat stress. See right here? Heat stress. That means, or drought stress, that means the water is not present in the ground. Let's get down here and let's find us a grass blade and I'll show you. All right, so I had to come over here against this box. That way you can see this. You see that curl? See how that's curled up? Come on, phone, get right. Focus. There we go. That blade should be flat. Well, the reason it's curling is because it's losing its hydration. And that's what's happening. And then the next step for that is you will start to see some, let's see, you can see a few blades down in here already have started. You can see how that blade's turned brown. And remember, what happens is the crown of the plant is saying, hey, I need some water. And it's taking the water out of that leaf and sucking it down into the crown and protect the crown and root system. And as that water leaves the grass blade, that part of the grass blade can't produce chlorophyll and photosynthesis, all that stuff that happens in grass. None of that can happen because it doesn't have the water, so it turns brown. And you know, the photosynthesis, chlorophyll, all that, that's what makes the plant green, right? So when it loses the water and it can't do that, that's why you get the brown color. So I'm gonna stay off of this. Man, we're supposed to get real warm next week. And I think we got, if I get a good rain on it, yeah, I'll come out here and mow it. But I need a real good rain first before I'm gonna mow it. Now, I know somebody's gonna ask me, well, what if you don't get rain? Well, I've seen times that I have went 6 weeks and didn't cut my grass. In my yard over here, I went 6 weeks without cutting it before in the summer. Matter of fact, I may even went 7. But my turf was still this color. Yeah, it's a little deep and a little shaggy and a little unkept looking, but I could care less. I wanted my grass green. It doesn't kill me to walk around in grass that's a little bit deep. Now, there's a stipulation to this. You got to remember, I do lawn care for a living, right? So I've got commercial type mowers that if I need to, I can raise the deck up a pinch more if I have to, or the horsepower of the engine or the machine is a good enough machine to where I can handle the taller grass. Okay, now if you don't have a machine like that, I don't know what kind of mower you have, but if your mower won't handle super tall, thick grass, then you may want to cut it a little sooner, rain or no rain. Okay, but you got to expect it to stress it a little bit if you cut it. It's just the nature of the beast. That's just kind of what's going to happen. Okay, so here's what happened. Here's the deal. I know I went into saying, don't cut, don't mow. But I got a unique situation. Between the time I filmed the part of the video you just watched and now, something kind of major has happened. And I've had to rearrange my schedule for the next 3 weeks, okay? So life happens, right? Sometimes you can't do every little tiny thing in order perfectly like you want it to happen, because hey, life happens. So I had to adjust, and I had to cut the grass. Now, I'm expecting it to stress out a little bit. So we got a couple of little weeds that are here and there, stuff like that. I'm not super concerned about that right now. We'll clean that up before we seed. But now, to go back on the mowing thing, you know, if your time allows, if your schedule allows, to where you can let the turf rest and go a little bit longer between mowings, by all means do it, because that's going to help out in a serious kind of way. Okay, now since I've cut this and I've freed my schedule up, I don't have to sweat this now. I'll probably go 2 or 3 weeks now before I cut it again. Okay, we're about first week of June right here, and it's non-irrigated, so I'm gonna let it go, let it do its thing, and I doubt it's gonna do a lot of growing because we're hot right now, and we're supposed to get even hotter next week. All right, so hey, just wanted to give you a couple little updates on some things, and hey, heat stress is real, okay? When you go periods without water, your turf goes periods without water, you can expect the turf to make a slight downhill descent, okay? It's gonna happen. Okay, now I've had people ask me, say, well, Pete, what about the turf going dormant? Should I let it go dormant, or should I water it, or what? I can't afford the water bill to put that much water on a yard, on a fescue yard, or whatever. Well, my first bit of advice is do not stress your budget over a water bill, okay? To me, that's insane. Now, I'm fortunate, okay? I'm very fortunate and blessed. When I put that well in back there, I paid my water bill up front, okay? So I wouldn't have a water bill. And some of you with existing irrigation systems and on city water or county water or whatever, you have to pay a water bill. And I understand that. I get it completely. So by all means, don't stress your budget over watering the grass, okay? But to answer that question, it is completely okay to let the turf go dormant. Now, what I do recommend is that you give that turf at least 1/4 to 1/2 inch of water every week or so. Every week, 10 days or so. That's going to keep the crown of the plant alive, okay? That's a bare minimum. Now, if you can put your sprinkler system times and I don't know how to word this, and put it into a dollar amount. If you know how many minutes it takes to run, and you spend this much money on water, and you have a budget, by all means, just run it to that budget, and we'll take what we can get, okay? Remember, at the end of the day, summer's not that long of a period, 2-3 months or so, and then we'll be right back into cool season, cool weather, and then you can bring that turf back to life. You know, that's one of the whole reasons that you aerate and seed, is because the summer is tough on fescue. If you live here where any kind of climate, like anything close to where I live in North Carolina, whew, well, we can get hot in the summer. I mean hot, smoking hot. And dry, it might go 4 or 5 weeks with no rain, and yards will turn brown and shrivel up and all that kind of thing. But just be patient. You want to make sure at least give it 1/4 to 1/2 inch every week or 10 days or so. And that you'll be surprised what that'll do in the long run. So hey, I was sitting here at the ballpark in between innings editing this video, and man, I didn't even put a closing in it. So I had to come out here and make one. We've been playing ball all day, having a good time. So look, Father's Day, man, it's a special day, man. I'm telling you, I love my daddy. And I love what he did for me, the way he supplied my family, took care of us, provided for us. Hey, I want to be that same role model to my kids, right? And I'm going to challenge all of you daddies to step up to the plate and become that dad God wants you to be to your kids, okay? And I know, look, this can be a tough time for some of you because maybe your dad's gone. And I want to tell you, I'm sorry. I want you to know that you got a Heavenly Father that will absolutely fill that void in your life. And He wants to love on you like nobody else can. So, hey, enjoy your Father's Day. Have a great weekend. Get your Father's Day right.